storylines that have you excited for this upcoming season. Good morning to you, Buster. What do you got? Go ahead and bust a move.
All right, I'm excited about Shohei Ohtani, who, of course, had the greatest season we've never seen before, 2021, with the two-way player that he was, 46 homers, 103 runs, a 3.18 ERA. Joe Madden said we might not ever see that again. The Angels are so good last year in communicating with Ohtani about getting rest. He was able to pull it off. We'll see if he can do it this year as the Angels try to get back into the playoffs. I'm excited to see Bobby Witt Jr., who's my choice for American League Rookie of the Year. He's going to be starting today at third base for the Kansas City Royals. This is an absolute superstar on the rise. He can hit. He can hit for power. He's got speed. He, I think, is the best prospect the Royals have had since the young George Brett. Personality-wise, he reminds you a lot of Patrick Mahomes. And I'm excited to see the return of the Blue Jays offense that was so dominant in the last 2 months of last year. In fact, I had members of the Yankees and Red Sox tell me that they were relieved that the Blue Jays didn't get into the postseason because they thought they were the best team in the American League down the stretch. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, and, of course, George Springer back. He was healthy in the second half of last year. They went 48-30 games in which George Springer played. To me, this is a team that's going to win this division.
Okay, so the Blue Jays coming in hot here on opening day, but you sort of mentioned the Yankees there. What are the biggest questions facing the Yankees here as we gear up for opening day?
Number one, can their defensive upgrades be enough? Look, their fan base is going nuts because they didn't sign a Corey Seager. They didn't sign a Carlos Correa. They went for the more subtle upgrades. Defensive improvements at catcher, at third base with Josh Donaldson now installed in that spot. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa takes over at shortstop. Gleyber Torres is now at second base full-time. They brought back Anthony Rizzo. So their defense should be better. Their run prevention should be better. Which leads me to my second question. Do they have enough depth in their starting pitching behind Garrett Cole? Jameson Taillon's had injury issues in the past. Same thing with Luis Severino. There's not a lot of margin for error. You can expect that during the course of the year, the Yankees will probably be in the marketplace looking for help.
Okay, let's go across town now and talk about this Mets team because they have so many question marks. I mean, you could go DeGrom, you could go 100 different ways, but what are your expectations for the Mets here?
Yeah, my three X factors for the Mets is DeGrom. How many innings can he throw this year? Look, he's probably going to miss at least 2 months, which would mean by the time he returns to the mound, he will have missed almost a full calendar year. He's had a ton of injuries. Will he actually contribute anything? Second X factor. Buck Showalter is their manager, brings a lot of experience. Nobody's better at running a bullpen. He's got instant credibility with the players. He will help. The biggest X factor, the money of owner Steve Cohen, who's made it very clear, cost be damned, he's going to do whatever he can to get this team over the top. So when we get to midseason and the Mets have a couple holes, as inevitably always emerge for contenders, you know that Cohen's going to step up, pay the price, probably build a record payroll. It makes the Mets really dangerous with Cohen opening his wallet for the front office.
Hey, Buster, I know today is opening day, so I just got to know, how'd you wake up this morning? Did you go get a cup of coffee? Did you run outside? Like, this has been a long time coming, it feels like, for baseball fans.
Yeah, on opening day, you don't need a cup of coffee. You are fired up and ready to go. I can see Truist Park right across the street. I can't wait to walk over there later.
Buster, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you in just a little bit. Maybe you will have a cup of coffee by him and produced by him. But anyways, Wendy, your reaction to LeBron saying that he would like to play with one Steph Curry?
Well, this is something that's gone back to before last season. Steph was a pretty serious rival of LeBron's, and all of a sudden he changed his tone, and I think it was related to the fact that Steph was an upcoming free agent. Subsequently, he signed a massive contract to pretty much end his career in Golden State, so I'm not so focused on that. I'm sure they'd love to play together, but it's not functional, to be honest with you. I would say something else, though. As part of this answer, and LeBron was having fun here, to be clear. He wasn't making a declarative statement. He talked about how much he admires Luka Doncic, and that is something that you should put in your back pocket. Don't ever judge LeBron 100% on his words. Judge him on his actions. The best way you can see how LeBron feels about people is who he drafts in his All-Star draft. Jay, he has drafted Luka Doncic all 3 years he's been an all-star. He tried to recruit Luka Doncic to his brand within Nike a few years ago. Luka picked the Jordan brand instead. He, I think, would also love to play with Luka. And in the fantasy world, to use Steph Curry's words, if you want to enter the fantasy realm, that is something that I think is more worthy of having a discussion about as opposed to Steph. Down the line, I don't think LeBron's going anywhere in the short term.
Okay, I see Vince Carter kind of doing a sideways nod here, so I'll let you take this. He's thrown out a lot of things here, Luka, Steph, but the thing that stays constant here is LeBron talking about who he wants to play with. Vince, what do you think?
Right, I mean, that's the alarming part of it right now. It's like he's already, I mean, the next day he's talking about guys he liked to play with instead of fixing the current issue on his team. But the Steph thing, I agree with you, Wendy. That's this fantasy world, and we kind of leave that alone. You know, my thing with LeBron is if you play with Luka, Luka is a ball-dominant guard. LeBron's a ball-dominant guard. Just like everybody else who's come in with him who needs the ball. Let's say Russell Westbrook, a guy who needs the ball in his hand. Well, are you willing to sacrifice a little bit for the good of Luka Doncic or Steph Curry and allow those guys to still be the stars? Because LeBron is used to having the ball in his hand a lot as well. So that's just something to consider, because you've seen guys come in there and hasn't played well because they don't have the ball in hand, because LeBron likes to dictate how things work.
Yeah, and it hasn't worked out great with Russell Westbrook, that's for sure. Jay, what do you think?
Vince, Wendy, I got to be honest. I'm cool with LeBron trying to be GM anymore. That ship has sailed. We heard Magic come out here on the ESPN platforms and say, look, it could have been DeMar DeRozan. It could have been Buddy Hield. Alex Caruso could have stayed. And that's not the path they went. They brought in Russ. They brought in AD. And yes, AD brought the title 2 seasons ago in the bubble. But this Russ thing has been a nightmare. So I really don't want LeBron playing GM any longer. And I got to take it a little bit further. I'm a LeBron stan. I love it. But this is the team that he chose. Look, my wife, she probably loved to be with George Clooney, but you know what? She chose me. So we're riding this thing together. That's how it's going to play out at the end of the day. Look, he's got to find ways not to, I want to be here. I want to be here. No. You're with the elite. You're with the storied franchise of the LA Lakers. You got to figure out how to play alongside Russ, how to unlock him. I think it's using him like a Draymond Green, not allowing him to handle the ball, play him as a 5, spread this whole thing out. Conversation for another day. But ultimately, when you look at this Lakers squad, if LeBron does elect to go anywhere else, this will be the first time I question a move like that. Look, he left Cleveland early on in his career. He needed to get out of there. Understood. He went to Miami. He got an education on how to be a champion. He left. Understood. He got a championship in Cleveland, finally delivered one, left. Understood. If he leaves this Lakers franchise as he made this mess, this will tarnish his legacy. Not the season that was, but if he goes ahead and says, I'm going somewhere else, what he would have done to this storied franchise, that would be the problem.
Okay, first of all, in case you don't know, this is my husband, Jordan.
Oh, that'd be weird otherwise if people put 2 and 2 together.
If they didn't put our last name together.
No, the host is with me now. Yeah, that'd be weird.
Exactly.
That'd be weird.
But Wendy, your thoughts on what Jordan is saying here in terms of LeBron, and if he did make a move out of LA, this is the time that we would judge him.
Yeah, first off, Jordan, just to be clear, he didn't tarnish the Lakers. He brought him a championship. There's a banner up there, number 17.
100%.
That's for sure. And I'm not saying he's going anywhere. In fact, I don't even really think he has the option of going anywhere. But I'm just saying that when LeBron talks about guys he wants to play with, it's more interesting to me the concept. I'm going to underline that. The concept of Luka, who he has shown an affinity for significantly over recent years. And by the way, that's not a surprise. But one of the reasons he got Russell Westbrook, which was, by the way, Jordan, again, not to pick on you, was endorsed by Rob Pelinka, was endorsed by ownership, was endorsed by Anthony Davis, and was, of course, endorsed by LeBron. It was to share the ball handling so you didn't have to work as hard. So he is attracted to playing with other ball handlers at this stage.
Vince, quickly, go ahead.
Wendy, that's my thing, is that, it was to share the ball handling responsibilities, and then it became LeBron kind of dominating the ball and Russ playing off the ball a little more. And that was kind of my concern. It's like, it sounded good in the beginning, and it was more of a, how long would this last with LeBron not having the ball, and then all of a sudden he's like, I got it. And you're seeing Russ run into the corner. And that was my question from the beginning. Will you allow Russ to have the ball and be a decision maker and playmaker and be the guy that we know Russ to be?
We're on the precipice of watching Tiger Woods turn around and play golf when we didn't think he'd have his leg or walk again. I want to see my legends. I want to see my guys come out there and say, look, this is not how this was supposed to go. But I